Amidst an era of pestilent racism, manifested through violence and hatred, where men, women, and children murdered each other, berated each other, and judged each other based on the color of their skin, where siblings persecuted each other simply because one thought fair skin was superior to dark. There stood a man who did not fear the consequences, and even when he was unjustly imprisoned, Martin Luther King Jr. made his voice heard. Perhaps it is easy for those who have never felt the stinging darts of segregation to say wait. But when you have seen vicious mobs lynch your mothers and fathers at will, and drown your sisters and brothers at whim, when you see the vast majority of your 20 million Negro brothers smothering in an airtight cage of poverty in the midst of an affluent society, when you suddenly find your tongue twisted and your speech stammering as you seek to explain to your 6-year-old daughter why she can't go to the public amusement park, and see tears welling up in her eyes when she is told Funtown is closed to colored children, and see ominous clouds of inferiority beginning to form in her little mental sky, when your wife and mother are never given the respected title Mrs., when you are forever fighting a degenerating sense of nobodiness, then you will understand why we find it difficult to wait. There comes a time when the cup of endurance runs over and men are no longer willing to be plunged into the abyss of despair. Today, we are here to celebrate these words, to commend those bold actions, and to embrace the ideology of human compassion that Martin Luther King so vividly embodied. The Civil Rights Movement portrayed that generation's struggle. But today, there still exists a great illness in our society, this communal negligence of the problems that humans have created for themselves. Currently, we look at globalization and modernization as betterment of mankind. But these same institutions also perpetuate and exacerbate the problems that exist. Dr. King and his contemporaries knew it was their time to stand up. And today, we must stand together to fight the ills that plague us. In 2010, it's your time to make a difference. But now the question arises, how do we overcome poverty and help lift those who are so far gone to live again? John Wood, the founder of Room to Read, explains that this morning, more than 100 million children in the developing world woke up and did not put on a school uniform, did not walk to school, and did not sit at a desk and learn. An even bigger issue is that almost 800 million people in the developing world are illiterate. That's 1 out of every 8 human beings. Education has always been an effective method of eradicating poverty and addressing the issues of this world. However, all over the world, education lacks because the opportunity isn't present. A headmaster in rural Nepal once said, "We are too poor for education." But until we have education, how will we ever not be poor? And this paradox then becomes the responsibility of the global community. It becomes your time to act. In this generation, we as citizens of a developed nation have the privilege of an education. But a problem occurs when people misinterpret and abuse their education to enhance their own lives. David Orr, a prominent environmentalist and professor, once said that this planet does not need more successful people, but it does need more peacemakers, healers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of every kind. It needs more people of moral courage willing to join the fight against keeping this world habitable and humane. But these qualities have little to do with success as our culture has defined it. Success so often correlates with money, material, consumerism, consumption, all of these neglecting the health of our global community, allowing discrimination, poverty, and exploitation to exist. And so now it's your time to stand up and make a difference, to limit, stop, and prevent the devastation that careless humans infringe upon this biotic community. It's your time as individuals to look at yourselves and realize that even if you have bills to pay and deadlines to make and babies back at home to feed, there's always a chance to act. Whether it's through voting, writing a letter, or spreading awareness, even if you believe you yourself can make a difference. The other day, I was grabbing lunch from my school cafeteria, and I noticed the manufacturers put a quote on the side of their new eco-friendly cups. It says, "We believe that to conserve our resources, protect our environment, and to enhance our communities, it takes everyone doing their part everywhere, every day." And when I read this, I imagine all the men and women who worked to put out this message, who care not just for themselves, but for this global community, this entire intricate system of life that comes together and depends upon one another. And the message to its readers